to look at this and say the reason that the Russian army is on NATO, the Russian army is at NATO's doorstep is because NATO has expanded rather than the Russians expanding? That, in other words, NATO has moved closer to Russia rather than Russia moving closer to NATO? Is that not an accurate way to look at this?
I think that's the way President Putin probably looks at it. It's certainly not the way that we look at it.
You don't think that NATO has expanded eastward toward Russia?
NATO has expanded,
Okay.
and the expansion has been a good thing for...
So the reason that the Russian army is at NATO's doorstep is not the fault of the Russian army, it's not the Russian army that's done it. It's NATO has moved closer to, moved
I'm pretty
east.
sure it wasn't NATO who was ordering, upwards of 15 battalion tactical groups to within 10 kilometers of the border with Ukraine. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't NATO who put little green men inside Ukraine to destabilize eastern
I'm pretty
states.
sure that Ukraine is not a member of NATO. So unless that's changed.
It's not
Okay.
changed. But I'm
So,
pretty sure the movement by Russia is Russia's decision.
if NATO has moved east, the reason that the Russian army is closer or on NATO's doorstep is because NATO moved, not
NATO
because
is not an anti-Russia alliance. NATO is a security
Watch this.
alliance.
Watch.
For 50 years, it was an anti-Soviet alliance. So
Where's
do you
the
not
Soviet
understand
Union
it? So do you not understand how, or can you not even see how the Russians will perceive it as a threat? And the fact that it keeps getting closer to their border, while their troops, I mean, the places where their troops are, you say their troops are, and may have been in Ukraine and Georgia, are not NATO members.
I'm not going to pretend to know what goes in President Putin's mind or Russian military commanders. I mean, I barely got a history degree at the University of South Florida. What I can tell you is that NATO is a defensive alliance. It remains a defensive
Fair
alliance.
enough, but it has moved east, correct? I mean, that's just a
It
fact.
has expanded, absolutely.
Right, exactly.
But
And so
there's
the
no reason
reason-
for anybody to think the expansion is a hostile or threatening move. And we've been saying that throughout the last 15 years, man.
It's like you're moving closer to Russia. You're blaming the Russians for being close to NATO.
No.
Yeah, he is.
That's exactly what Hegel
We're
said.
blaming the Russians for violating the territorial integrity of Ukraine and destabilizing the security
Which is
situation
not a
inside
NATO
Europe.
member. Which is not a NATO.
I see to you
Other
on that
countries
point.
feel threatened.
It's like we have a border between the two of us, and we said that 5 meters between us is like a neutral zone. Nobody should cross. Then before I know it, you've crossed 3 meters into the neutral zone. And then you again start saying that I am placing my troops closer to you, but I haven't moved. You have moved. But then you are the one complaining that my troops are near you. You can see the irony and the hypocrisy. If there's one thing that I have come to know of, is that the West is not as righteous as they claim to be. And America is not that shiny example that we all thought it is. The things America does abroad is so terrible. If you want to know that America is not a shiny example, wait until their interest is being threatened, then you see the way they will react. And for most Americans who live in America, they do not understand what their government is doing abroad. What America and their so-called agencies have done in Africa is terrible. But sometimes when you tell an American about all this, he or she will be like, nah, you are lying. Where are the facts? I don't believe you. And most of the times, I really do not blame them, because America has used its media to paint a very good picture of itself. Those in America consume only information from the main media houses like CNN, Fox News, and MSNBC and so on and so forth. And all these media houses tend to paint America in a very positive light. But for most of us outside of America who have seen or heard about what America has done abroad, knows this firsthand, that they are not what they claim they are, as this video will let you know. Watch.
When Trump got in office and he mentioned that there's a deep state, they're like, you can't say that. What are you doing? And when he said, hey, when they asked him, why are you leaving your troops in Syria? And he said, for the oil. They're like, you can't. Yeah. He goes, no, it's for the oil. No, it's for liberty. It's for helping the people. Yeah. No, it's for the oil. It's our oil. And so he let the cat out of the bag, and they can't have that. That's what he blew the whistle on what's actually going on. Our wars are for oil. Our wars are economic wars, just like what's happening in Ukraine. This is an economic war. We're trying to put a hurt and isolate Russia.
You hear what he said, right? I just had to pause it here to say something. Okay. So for those of you who think that when America goes somewhere, they are going to help the people there, you might have been misled. America doesn't go anywhere without their own interests at heart. If they go anywhere, they have a particular reason they are going. It's either for natural mineral like oil or for political reasons like the ongoing crisis in Ukraine. They went to Iraq not because Saddam was a terrible person, even though Saddam was very, very, very bad. He was one of those terrible dudes. But that wasn't the reason why America went there. They went there because they wanted something from Iraq, and they got what they wanted. Same with Libya. They came to Libya, they took out Muammar Gaddafi, and look at what is going on in Libya. And same with previous leaders in Africa who have been taken out. From what we know, some American secret agencies had hand in those things, allegedly. Like, case in point, Patrice Lumumba. So we all know about all these things. But most of the times, when you tell an American, he or she doesn't or wouldn't believe you because they really do not have all the information. But let's continue.
We're afraid of Russia and their natural resources and their manpower coming together with Germany with their technology and their capital. And we've been saying that for decades. And so that's why we blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. And that's why this Ukraine war is happening. And people have no idea what's happening. And what's worse is they have no idea that they have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. That's the crazy part.
You see how dumb humans can be, right? They have no idea that they have no idea. And when this whole thing broke out, that was like a year ago, most of us were like, we support Ukraine. We are for Ukraine. We are for the Ukrainian people. Blah, 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 blah. But we did not know that there was a more behind motive why all this was happening. None of us knew that, right? But now we are beginning to see that many things were done behind the scene to make sure that this event took place. There are many people who are going to benefit from what is taking place in Ukraine. There are many people who will hope that this current thing in Ukraine never ends. Let it just keep going, because as it keeps going, they keep on making so much from it. That is how things are. And most of us don't even know. You can hear what the speaker said, that the shame or the irony is that most of us don't even know that we do not know. That is a really, really big shame. I heard about this news and I do not know how accurate it is, that America has about 750 military bases around the world, and now they are going for 3 more in the Philippines. I was like, wow, really? 750 military bases around the world? And when China had just one in Djibouti, that was all what the media was talking about, how China was expanding its military out of its border, out of Asia. But America has 750 military bases all over the world. You can see how funny things are, right? And even though the United Nations told them not to invade Iraq, they did so anyway. And they used NATO, the Atlantic organization, to destabilize Libya and took out Muammar Gaddafi. And Obama did order many drone strikes in Syria. This is what we see every day. And I must give it to them. They have done so well with the manipulation. They have used their media so well that we cannot even know what is true and what is false anymore. Because the media would never tell you things like this. You can see what the reporter was asking, right? That NATO is complaining about Russia having troops near NATO. But Russia hasn't moved. NATO has moved. NATO has expanded towards Russia. But then NATO blames Russia for having troops near NATO. It's like we have a border between the two of us, and we said that 5 meters between us is like a neutral zone. Nobody should cross. Then before I know it, you've crossed 3 meters into the neutral zone. And then you again start saying that I am placing my troops closer to you. But I haven't moved. You have moved. But then you are the one complaining that my troops are near you. You can see the irony and the hypocrisy. But to you guys out there, what do you think about America's role in the world? Do you believe that, or do you think that America still have the same respect that they used to have? Do people from all over the world still view America as that shiny hero that they want to be, or that they want to emulate, or as a villain who is out there taking over the world one country at a time? Let us know in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And please don't forget to like this video, share this video, follow our Facebook page, and most importantly, subscribe to this YouTube channel, because little bit of goodwill like the one you're doing just now help us a lot, and we shall forever be grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing just that. And like always, see you in the next one.